Hi, this is Jen with Hazel's Career Consulting and Coaching, and I'm just taking a few minutes today to share a few resources for the small business population and individuals in the Edgewater community. So my agenda today is focusing on resources for COVID-19 and human resources support for small business in the Edgewater community. And secondly, individual resources for individuals impacted by COVID-19 and job loss. So really looking at what you need to know. There's some resources from US Chamber. I looked at Biz Journals as well, so I'll link those resources here. And they talk about different things that you might want to implement during this time period. So you're looking at establishing potentially a remote work option. Some small business owners might not be able to implement that. So you're looking at a restaurant or a delivery service potentially. But there's other resources here that you can look at to support your employees during this time period and COVID-19 situation. Then you'll also look at reducing meetings and travel, giving employees flexibility, communicate transparently with your customers. You can do this via social media or any other resources you can think of to just make sure your customers know what you're doing if you're still in business and where they can reach you, whether it's via phone, website, or how they can get your product. You can use Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever resources you can. Really take a look at e-commerce. It's yielding big gains for small business in this time period. You can also look at these free offerings, and I would check the websites. I've listed a few here on DocuSign. Microsoft is offering Teams, GoDaddy, MailChimp, Paychex. These are all companies that are offering free use or discounts. You can get like free months of service during this time period. Another resource that you may want to take a look at is SHRM.org, this website here. So that's Society of Human Resources Management. They have a lot of resources for small business and individuals impacted as well. And if you don't have access to that, you can definitely reach out to me and I'm happy to share information because I do have access. And I'm going to list this file here that has some immediate answers for potentially small business owners locally, and also these websites you can check. You can also check HRMAC, which is Human Resources Management Association of Chicago. They have resources on their website as well for small business owners. These are organizations that may have bigger impact on larger organizations in the Chicago area, but they also have resources for small business owners as well. So information, and I'm happy to share that information if you need it. So then we're going to look at career search advice for individuals impacted by COVID-19 in the Edgewater community. My first point of advice would be to be thoughtful about your career search. You may have been in a career search mode before this even started, but especially now, there's just going to be so many people looking for different positions, whether they were impacted or not. So don't panic. Just be very thoughtful about where you're going to direct your search. And we'll talk about number 1, personal branding, 2, organization and planning, 3, interview prep and skills, and 4, networking. So personal branding is something that I help a lot of individuals with as far as career planning. Really looking at what you want to do next. So this might be a time to reflect and decide, you've got a little bit of time here because, maybe they aren't going to be hiring just right now. So look at what you want to do next. See really what your experience brings to the table and where you can direct that, and be excited about your next career. Another thing I help a lot of people with is resume review and writing. So you can look at what you want to do next and really design a resume around that to be successful in attaining what you're looking for. And then LinkedIn profile learning. So now is the time you could be updating your LinkedIn profile and making that project the image that you're looking for the next career. It would be very exciting for somebody to be able to learn about that more during this time period. LinkedIn has a lot of resources on learning how to update your profile. Career coaches like myself, you can really get support from those types of people in this time period. So it's just really a good time to look at your personal brand and see what you want to target as far as your career next. On number 2, organization and planning, you really need to have a job search plan. Schedule it out so you don't get burned out, because it might take you a while to find a career, especially in this time period when so many people are looking. So you're going to be looking at putting together that personal brand first, and then planning out a job search. So you can be very thoughtful about that, and plan times for you to sit down and look for positions to apply to. Plan times to sit down and think about how you're going to reach out to people in your network and with your resume that you have that you're feeling successful with. I will list some job search resources here. I will note a couple: Indeed, LinkedIn. Virtual Vocations is one you might want to look at, especially in this virtual job zone that we're in. They're very well versed at listing a lot of virtual vocations, not only full-time but part-time if that's what you're looking for too. There are just so many resources out there, so I'll put this full list here, and then feel free to reach out at any time. I'm glad to direct and give you support as far as what resources that are available in that area. Another thing you'll want to look at is interview preparation and skills. I do help a lot of individuals with planning research around the interviews that they're going to. So you're looking at the company that you've gotten an interview request for. You're also looking at potential questions they could be asking you and prepping for that. Prepping for the platform that they're going to interview with. So a lot of organizations are not doing in-person interviews at this time. So you want to be prepared for what skills you'll need to bring to the table in order to perform the interview, whether that's a Zoom interview or a Viber interview or FaceTime or a Skype interview. So you can actually study up on that before you get into the job interview process, so you're familiar with it and you're not as nervous because you already know the platform. Learning how to dress for success for these types of virtual interviews. There's a link here I'll put in order to review some tips on that. And then you also want to look at follow-up as far as what's the best way to follow up in this time period, and how often do you follow up? Another thing we'll look at is networking. How to attend a virtual job fair. That may be completely new territory for a lot of people. Utilizing your LinkedIn connections during this time period and utilizing your own network to further your job search. So you're prepared with a resume you can send out via email, or making a phone call to let people know that you're actually looking right now and what you're looking for. So you can be successful with all of these things. I'm really happy to bring you this support, and feel free to reach out to me at any time. Jen from Hazel's Career Consulting and Coaching. Thanks so much, and good luck.